All right. Hello, guys, and welcome to today's interview. Today, we have Vanessa Bartlett from Sydney, Australia, joining us here to talk about stress and how we can reduce stress in order to reduce back pain. For those of you who've been following our channel for some time, you know that we've already talked about how stress can, in fact, affect your nervous system and cause you more back pain. And so we want to kind of dive into it a little bit more because Vanessa studied this subject more. And Vanessa also has a YouTube channel and a website where she helps people with stress, with different workouts, core exercises, full body resistance training. So you can check her out later. But let's dive right into it. So thanks for being here, first of all.
Thank you so much, Leon. Really excited to be here and to chat with all of you.
Yeah, and so let's start right away with the first question. Just kind of like give us a general overview of stress and how does it feel in our bodies?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because these days people experience stress so much. And it's basically, in a nutshell, our body's response or mindset's response to not being able to cope with the current situation. So physiologically and mentally, we go through changes within our body if we are in a state of stress. And it's kind of like when your body becomes out of whack or out of homeostasis or balance.
Yeah. And when we were exchanging, we were just talking about it through email. You were mentioning a little bit about the different types of stresses, like parasympathetic nervous system versus sympathetic. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So what happens is if our body changes from that stress response, we have an increase in our heart rate, a change in our digestive system. Our brain basically triggers a whole, cascade of a hormonal effect for us to go fight or flight response. And what that is sending us ready to prepare for danger, ready to fight or flight, basically. And the problem with that is that it is a good thing. We do need stress in our body actually to function, and we need to be able to respond to appropriate situations in our life. It is a must. However, the problem is that people are staying in this state of stress for way too long these days. So instead of, being chased down the forest, down the woods by a bear, as people always use that analogy, we are getting stressed driving to work, sitting in a car. We are mentally stressed coming home, managing the kids and work and getting dinner ready. People are highly stressed. And then, of course, with crazy things happening the past couple of years, that has changed our mental health, our ability to cope with stress because of lockdowns and things. So our body's physiological response, unfortunately, is staying in this stress response, the fight or flight response, for way too long, instead of back in the old days where the instinct is to kind of kick into gear and do what you need to do to escape danger, and then you get back to balance and back to homeostasis. So the opposite of that, the stress response is firing up. Our brain tells our adrenal glands, which are right here under the ribs, to fire out some cortisol and some adrenaline and different hormones like that. And again, that's all good. But what happens at that time is your digestive system gets put to the side. So, for example, if you're trying to lose weight or, get fit and healthy, if your body's in a state of stress all the time, natural processes like digestion and metabolism and liver function and all of that get put on hold because your body's in a state of stress. And so then people find it hard to lose weight, for example, in state of stress. People find it hard to get the most out of their strength exercises, their core exercises, their back pain exercises, which is what you guys do a fantastic job of. It's hard to sometimes feel the benefits of these great things if you are in a mental state of stress, because the body and mind are linked. And so this is the thing. We always want to get back to that state of homeostasis and minimize stress in our life.
Yeah, I love that. I think, and you just mentioned that I think people who are exercising and who are doing our posture and back exercises, as well as your folks as well, it's like if they're too stressed, they cannot listen to their body. They're not probably able to even feel their body in space. properly, to know if they're doing the exercises correctly, to know also if they're pushing themselves too much or not enough. So because again, like you said, it's so connected, mind, body.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that as well, because I was reading up before too. So your hippocampus, your hippocampus amplifies events. So during, say, anxiousness and stress to a high level, your brain is actually priming behavioral responses that are adaptive to the worst outcome. So how can it be even possible for us to enjoy, feel the benefit, and really deeply strengthen and be present in our exercise if you're in a state of anxiety or a stress state or one of these high level states that are above a nice balanced level physiologically? So it's really interesting. There's so many studies out there these days and data that also shows us this as well. And not only that, it can exacerbate someone's pain. So again, if you're in a state of stress, you're in that sympathetic nervous system. Your sympathetic nervous system is, firing up. Your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest, your balance, everything's functioning nicely. If you're not in that state, your pain is amplified if you're actually in a highly stressed state. So this makes even back pain and muscular pain, neck, shoulders and things even worse. Aside from not getting the most out of the exercises, it can exacerbate our pain, which is no good either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've seen that research on that as well. So thanks for that awesome introduction. And now let's move on to some ways that people can, from their homes, start reducing their stress. I think we're going to try to do 5. So let's go with the first one.
Yeah, sure. So identifying your stress cause first. It's all well and good to do exercise, and I know everyone has that motivation to help their pain and to do the correct exercises. But until we've identified, are we in a highly stressed state? How are we actually living day to day? Let's look into your lifestyle. Look at the different areas: your sleep, your lifestyle, your food habits, your exercise, your interactions with people. All of these elements comprise our daily life. So if there are different things in there really triggering you to be in a highly stressed or anxious state daily, those things need to be addressed first and foremost. I've had clients, after a few months, realize they need to change a job, or, realize they need to outsource more from something. Busy parents, for example, if you've got so many things happening at home and you're stressed and you're in pain, you've got to start getting rid of a couple of those things. So I'm very practical. So I'll be like, all right, I've got a busy couple of weeks. To avoid myself getting into a stress state with kids and work and business balance, how about I order some amazing, food deliveries online? There's so many healthy home meals available in different countries. So then we don't have to cook for a few days if we've got a lot on. So very simple things like this can make a difference to your stress levels daily. So I think the first thing for anyone to do is just kind of identify what are your stress triggers and how can we start minimizing and getting those out of your daily life.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, like turning off your notifications on your iPhone for social media. At least on the last hour, I feel like, before you go to bed, you can just turn it off, like something like that. Yeah. So the first one, definitely, just kind of doing an audit on your daily lifestyle. So that's important. Okay, let's go to the second one.
Yeah. So some deep breathing. So we all know, we've heard of deep breathing, right? So how do you actually do it? I find it's best if you can sit really tall with your feet grounded. So feel your feet on, and it's great to do this outside if you can. Ground your feet down, really feel your spine lengthened, and sit tall as if there's a piece of string lifting the crown of their head. So getting into great posture, which I know you teach, is so important for people because you can't deep breathe if you're slouched over like this. Right? That's another thing too. When you're stressed or you're feeling anxious, you tend to slump. So we want to get out of that physiologically. So deep breathing, lift up nice and tall, pull your shoulder blades together slightly, rest your hands just on top of the belly there below the ribs. And then if you close your eyes, inhale for 5, hold the breath for 4 to 5 seconds, and then exhale through the mouth. So that pause, 5, 5, 5. Inhale for 5, pause. Allow your body to sort itself out and be present for that 5 seconds. And then exhale, really get it out. Doing some of that for 2 to 5 to 10 minutes, even that shorter amount of time is really beneficial because that will help the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest to go, okay, let's get out of fight or flight response and high stress. Let's come into a nice place of balance. And now I can do my exercise or my chores or my work problem that I'm trying to deal with from a place of more calm.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. And do you have a recommendation when people should breathe? Should do it in the morning or just whenever? How do you feel about it?
I think whenever, to be honest. And I think with this journey of kind of becoming more balanced and stress-free, it really is up to the individual to work out what works for you. Like I have a lot of clients who have made it mandatory that they go to bed and they do their exactly what I showed you, the breathing exercise for 5 minutes before they go to bed with 30 minutes off the phone prior. Like that's their rule because it works for them. Others need to absolutely do this in the middle of the day to get through work. So I say do what works for you, or if you're ever getting into that state where you're kind of going, oh, I'm going to tip over here, I know I'm getting quite stressed or worried or anxious mentally, let's bring that back. Your mind and body are connected. Do it when you need to, even for 30 seconds, a couple of times a day.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So right now, everyone listening probably is aware that they're not breathing enough. And with that, let's go to the third thing that people can do to reduce their stress.
Yeah, look, becoming more present, and this ties in with everything. So a lot of anxiety and stress is associated to not being present and actually thinking about future and thinking about past. So when you're in that stress state, you're probably worried. Like worry is something to do with the future because you're not being present, unless you're worried right now if you're in a situation that requires that, of course. But a lot of the time we find ourselves stewing over thoughts in our heads, situations, things that have happened with people, with work, whatever it is. If you can pull back, the deep breathing is really good to bring you to the present. So ask yourself daily, are you waking up in the present? Or are you waking up thinking about a problem you had with someone 7 days ago, which is still lingering, causing you to be angry and stressed today? Or can you kind of pull away, again, address what needs to in life, of course, as things come up. But being present is a big key to this. And that will also help you do your exercises and really get your body into a nicer state of alignment. If you're present, you'll get much better quality movement, not only physically, but mentally staying present is a huge thing here for people. So just check in with yourself daily. Okay, am I being present here? Or am I talking about and engaging in things that are causing me stress or going down a path I don't need to right now? Am I being present with my kids? Am I being present with when I eat my food? This is a big thing. And again, we glaze over it because we're all so busy. But if you do that, you actually slow down your system and it slows down time and you can more easily cruise through your day.
Yeah. And for sure. I like that. The being present part is so important also for pain management as well, because it's also been proven that people that are in chronic pain, they tend to negatively think about their pain as well, which perpetuates the pain. So
Yes.
It's like you can't focus on that all the time, like being trapped in your mind, thinking about those types of things. If you want to, again, live more fully and be and get out of pain as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go to the fourth thing.
Sure. So sleeping, prioritizing sleep. If you are sleep deprived for a long time, this can drastically affect your mental health. Everyone knows this, right? It can definitely increase stress, anxiety, overwhelm, and not to mention brain fog and basic bodily function. So if you lack in sleep, this is a massive pillar that, again, people sometimes neglect because they're trying to do everything else in life. If you get the right amount of sleep for yourself, and look, experts say it's between that 7 to 9 hours. It's different for everyone, and it's different according to if you've had chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue, massive pain or injury. Of course, this is different for everyone. Some people can do well on less sleep. However, the baseline is if you're not getting at least 7, you're probably cutting yourself short. And even cutting yourself short 30 minutes a day can have a cumulative effect. And so then again, if you look at all the other points we've talked about, how can you be present if you're tired, really? How can you not be stressed if you're tired? Because normally you're grumpy when you're tired, and we react to things more so. So having that calm mind, calm, healthy body is integral, but you need to have good sleep to do that. If your sleep patterns are disrupted, if you do get up a lot at night, you need to address that with a practitioner. Perhaps your cortisol, perhaps your hormones are out. Perhaps there's something that's causing you internally to wake up at 2 a.m. if that's happening for you. But generally speaking, you want to have a good routine, decrease your caffeine all round, but decrease caffeine, especially in the afternoons. Like you said before, switch off notifications, get off the devices 30 to 60 minutes before bed, unless it's some kind of lovely meditation music or something that will help. And brain dumping is something really, really good I do with my clients. So literally people who are super busy and driven and have a big day and not going to sleep because they're worried about the next day, one of the best things you can do is grab some paper and a pen and write down, okay, what do I need to address tomorrow? What am I doing at 9 a.m., 10 a.m.? What's important? Yep, I've got it here in my schedule, whether it's on paper or in a digital schedule. And at least then you then give yourself permission to sleep. So then if you wake up at 1 a.m. going, I need to do that meeting thing at 9 a.m. Well, if you've covered that before you go to bed and it's down, your brain can literally go, cool, I've got this. Now it's time to rest. Thank you very much. I'm going to put this to the side till tomorrow, till I need to deal with it. And then you'll have better quality sleep too. That's a massive hack that works for everyone I've ever told them, pretty much. Get it out on paper before bed so that if you do wake up, you're not then going over, crazy thoughts at midnight because your body's trying to rest.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I do that too. I have my to-dos for my business for the following days. But recently what I've done is I also add in between non-business things because like you said, it's in your brain, just get out on paper. So even if I have to go and pick up a prescription, I'll just put it in between my business tasks. Yeah. And that way it's just easier. It's just out of my brain, so to speak. Yeah. So I think that's really good.
I do that too. I put literally everything and I feel more in control then. Like go and get, a couple of groceries in between, say this interview and then getting my boys from daycare or something like that. I put everything in so it's not just work and business in the schedule. And then your exercise. So like 10 minutes meditation or things that make you happy as a person too. We need technology and make time for ourselves. That's a really good point, Leon.
Yeah, that's awesome. These are all great tips. We've done 4 so far. What about a 5th one, last one?
Yeah, quality exercise. You've got to do exercises that are conducive to what you need. And I know you guys are amazing for this as well. So doing exercise that is quality movement, good for your back, good for your posture, and addresses, these deeper core muscles, these deeper postural muscles that we all need to do. Because if you address the core and the posture and everything to do with back pain, you'll find that you'll sit up taller anyway. So then if you are stressed or anxious but you're tall, your brain actually sends a signal. So I read this in another article recently. If you are in that state of, a slumped position, physiologically it tells your brain that you're depressed and that you're down. Yeah. So if we can work on the posture, again, it's great what you guys do. Get that postural work happening with quality exercise and things that are good for the long-term health of your back. This is integral because that will decrease your stress. Because if you feel physically strong and fit and you can walk around with a tall posture, how much does that do for your mental health on the flip side, right? So even if you're worried about something but you have strength and movement in your body and you're pain-free, that's powerful. That's like your self-esteem goes up. Your ability to deal with problems goes up because you're physically strong. So this is, going on the physical side first. We're talking about the mental side and the hormones and all the internal stuff. I really believe there's a lot to be said for doing the correct quality exercise and bringing these things into it that we mentioned, making sure you're present. There's no point being stressed and anxious and trying to do one of your amazing core exercises, Leon, because you probably won't do it correctly if you're thinking about 5,000 things, right? So bringing yourself into the present when you exercise, no matter what it is really key for good execution.
Yeah. And I love all those points. And I would also say, just in the most general sense, there's like a tons of research just that doing exercise alone is just so good for you, for your mental health and your stress levels. Just even any exercise. That's what's interesting about it.
Exactly. So, get moving, right? Even 10 minutes a day, a bit of a walk, a few of your exercises, whatever. Jump on, do one of my 15-minute videos. If there's so much there, and as long as you get your heart rate up and you're getting those good hormones out, you can bring yourself into the present. It's great for your heart health. We all know that, and our cardiovascular and all of those other fitness pillars. Yeah, just get going. Hey.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So thank you. Those are awesome 5 stress reduction things that anybody can do at home. So those of you who are watching, just try them out. Leave a comment below if you're watching me on YouTube here, and let us know which ones are your favorite, or share other ones as well. But I think those are awesome. I feel like we just did like a stress masterclass or something. It's very good.
Yeah. I hope people benefit from it. I mean, these are all the things I do, and I help my clients with every single week. And I really feel, there's so much to be said. We can really heal ourselves more by relying on ourselves and showing up for ourselves and doing these practical things. It's all well and good for people to know and research all these amazing things and take supplements and all that. Everything has its place. But at the end of the day, we need to control, and it's in control, how we react to stress and minimize it so our body and mind perform the best.
Yeah, I agree. And again, those of you who are suffering with pain, you really do need to work on stress reduction as part of your protocol on relieving your pain, not just physical exercise, but also focusing on other modalities. Like one of them is reducing your stress, and as well as other things. Like we always say. Yeah. So thank you. That was awesome. And just let people know where they can find you if they want to find out more about you.
Yeah, sure. The main website is vanessabhealth.com. And then the YouTube channel is Vanessa B Health TV. And there's over 300 videos on there, all low impact, resistance bands, Pilates, core, stress management workouts, adrenal recovery workouts, and all sorts of stuff along those lines to help people.
Perfect. We'll link those down below so you guys can check her out more, and hopefully we'll have you again soon to talk about more things. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.